Hey everyone, this is Dr. Hasibullah Hanif. Welcome to NeuroHub. In this video, we will discuss anatomy and function of the brain lobes and their clinical importance. Frontal lobe, located in front of the brain, function, decision making, problem solving, planning and emotion regulation, voluntary motor control and speech production by Broca area. It is the last part of the brain to fully develop, usually in mid-20. Parietal lobe is located in the top middle section of the brain, function processing sensory information like touch, temperature and pain, septal awareness and coordination. It helps you find your way around and surrounding the position of your body in space. Temporal lobe located sides of the brain near the ear. Function is hearing, language comprehension. Like we have area there is called vertical area for language, memory processing, and emotion. Play a key role in recognition of face and understanding spoken language. Occipital lobe located in the back of your brain. Function, vision processing, including color, shape, motion, and detection. If damaged, it can lead to visual loss or difficulty in recognition of object. Limbic lobe located deep inside the brain part of the limbic system. Its function is about emotion, memory formation, and behavior regulation, including structure like hippocampus for memory and amygdala for emotion. Insular lobe located hidden deep inside the lateral sulcus between the temporal and frontal lobe. Function is about consciousness, self-awareness, perception of taste, and emotion regulation. So often this part of the brain is called fifth lobe because it's less visible but highly important. Let's go one by one. Frontal lobe is located in front of the brain, which is responsible for voluntary movement, personality and mood, higher intellectual and social and behavior conduct. And also it's responsible for language production. We have a Broca area. So the key area in the frontal lobe, we have motor cortex, and this is the motor cortex, premotor area. Motor cortex control voluntary muscles movement, premotor area plan and coordination movement. And we have prefrontal cortex handle complex thinking and problem solving and decision making. We have Broca area which is responsible for speech production. In clinical, injury to the frontal lobe can occur due to trauma, stroke, infection, degenerative disorder, and brain tumor. The penis gag case, it was one of the famous case in the neuroscience about 1848. He went through, Gag was a railway worker who survived after an accident where an iron rod penetrated his frontal lobe, and after that uh, they found that his personality is changed, and it's help us as scientists understanding the role of the frontal lobe and personality and behavior.
The parietal lobe is located upper middle part of the brain, behind the frontal lobe and above the occipital lobe. The function of parietal lobe is sensory information processing, interrupts touch, pain, temperature, and pressure, and control of language and calculation and visuospatial function. The clinical anatomy injury to the parietal lobe, damage to the parietal lobe can result in attention deficits, causing difficulty on focus on specific tasks, left neglect, left visual field lost. Gerstmann syndrome occurs due to left parietal lobe damage, and it's characterized by agrapsia, difficulty in writing, a calculator unable to perform arithmetic calculation, aphasia, language difficulty, agnosia, unable to recognize objective or people. Right parietal lobe injury can cause contralateral hemianopes neglect, ignoring the left side of the body, may also result in contralateral hemianopia.
Occipital lobe. Occipital lobe is the smallest lobe located at very back of your brain. It processes all what you see, responsible for vision. Damage to the occipital lobe lead to visual disturbance partially. Occipital lobe boundaries extended posterior to parieto-occipital sulcus and superior and posterior to pre-occipital notch. So it have two boundaries. One posterior to parieto-occipital sulcus, which separate parietal lobe from occipital lobe, and other we have pre-occipital notch, which separate temporal lobe from occipital lobe. It contains multiple important structure. We have primary visual cortex and visual associated cortex. Primary visual cortex is involved in awareness of visual stimuli. And for example, if someone looking to a ball, the ball will be it will be recognized by primary visual cortex. There is something in front of his head or his eyes. He will see something, but he will not be able to recognize it. So visual associated cortex is involved in analyzing and recognizing, memorizing, and understanding of visual stimuli. For example, if a ball is in front of someone, so he will recognize it and understand that's the ball, and that's using for basketball, for example. But he will be not, if there is lesion in visual associated cortex, he will not be analyze that that's a ball, but he will analyze that there is something in front of his eye if the primary visual cortex is intact. Temporal lobe: the boundaries extended interior to pre-occipital notch and inferior to lateral sulcus, containing multiple important structures like primary auditory cortex, auditory associated cortex, and olfactory cortex and vernical area. The primary function of primary auditory cortex for conscious awareness of sound stimuli, and auditory associated cortex for involving in analyze understanding the stimuli, and primary olfactory cortex for olfaction, for smell analysis, and we have vernical area for involved in the comprehensive comprehension of writing and spoken language, which located in the mainly in the left side of the dominant hemisphere of temporal lobe. In next lecture, we will discuss about the brainstem, spinal cord, and midbrain anatomy. So thank you so much. Grateful for your time. If you like the video, share your thoughts below and hit subscribes. Goodbye.